Hey guys, what's going on? And I have not made a video in a long time. My last video according to this was what, 8 months ago? So I have not made a single video in the entirety of 2016. Uh, let's just explain why I haven't. So first of all, this week is a big week for gamers. It is the week of E3. E3 recently wrapped up, and I'd like to kind of give my thoughts on it. I'd like to kind of give what I think of E3. You know, this is going to be a pretty quick video, and yeah. So why have I not made a video in 8 months? So it's quite simple. I when I first started this YouTube channel, I started this YouTube channel back on November 11th, 2007. So come next year, I would have been making YouTube videos for 10 years, and that's amazing. Now, I don't consider myself, you know, like some sort of amazing YouTuber, but for one thing, I'd like you to notice this video is completely direct captured. I am on my Windows 10 gaming PC. I'm using NVIDIA Shadowplay to record this video. And one thing, if you've noticed, every video I've uploaded has been taken off like a camera, and the reason for this I'll explain for two reasons. First of all, up until now I had no way to use direct capture. You know, the PS3 and the 360 did not have built-in video recording stuff like that, like the PS4 and the Xbox One, and I did not have a gaming PC, so I had no way to record, and I didn't want to go run out and buy a capture card device because I knew that I didn't get paid to make YouTube videos. So I would be like, well, if I did have money to buy a capture card device, I'd rather use that to buy games or something, and I knew I wasn't going to use it much, so I just never bought one. But now I'm using a direct capture thing, and I hope that if I do ever go back making videos, which I do plan to, so I want to stress that I'm taking a on and off hiatus from making videos, but I'm not going to permanently stop making videos, at least, you know, for the time being. I enjoy making videos, but I do want to point this out in a minute. But I do enjoy making videos, but I fell out of making videos. I don't really want to make videos at the moment, but I do hope to kind of jump back into it and, you know, make YouTube videos again. So this says I have 419 subscribers. This has actually gone up since the last time I checked. So how do I go 8 months without making videos and my subscriber count has gone up? I don't even know how that works, but I just want to give my quick recap of E3, and then a little list of games that currently off the top of my head that I know I'm looking forward to. So yes, we're going to use Kotaku. I know a lot of people hate Kotaku, but the only reason I'm using them is because this is the only place that I've found that has like a list of the schedule and highlights very neatly organized for like E3. So that's the only reason I'm using them. I don't really, you know, have a allegiance to Kotaku. I'm just using it because it has a very neat organized list. So according to this, we had Square Enix with Deus Ex, we had EA, Bethesda, Kadokawa, I don't know what that is. Microsoft, PC Gaming Show, Ubisoft, Sony, and Nintendo Treehouse. I did not watch Kadokawa. This is actually the first time I actually saw that. I didn't realize there was something between Bethesda and Microsoft, and I didn't watch the Square Enix Deus Ex thing. But let's give my little quick thoughts of everything. EA opens up with Titanfall 2, Battlefield 1, Mass Effect Andromeda, and they kind of talked about how they were going to do Star Wars and then, you know, FIFA and Madden. The only thing I really care for from EA would probably be, I guess, Mass Effect. Like, that's really the only thing I really care for from them. I don't really, you know, have anything too much I care for. I don't really care for Titanfall 2. I don't really care for Battlefield 1. Mass Effect, I actually have all 3 Mass Effect games. I managed to get them very cheap on a sale, and I still haven't played them, so I got to get onto that. Now let's go to Bethesda. They announced, which was leaked. I do want to say one thing. A lot of games are just getting leaked now, and then a lot of games got announced before E3, so it just kind of seemed weird to, like, why not just save this all for E3 so we have some surprises. But anyway, Bethesda announced Skyrim Remastered and then Dishonored 2. Now with Skyrim Remastered, I was surprised that it's coming to PC on account of, PC already has Skyrim, and mods and whatnot. So I kind of see it being coming to PS4 and Xbox One, but PC at first it seemed kind of weird. But then I read how it's possible that, they may improve the code of the game to like maybe allow more mods or just like under the hood improvements, so that's better than the original, because like the original Skyrim came out in 2011, so I'm sure they've done a lot of under the hood changes. So luckily I've never played Skyrim on PC. I do have Skyrim on 360. Back when my first 360 broke, I went out and got a Xbox Slim, and it came with a free downloadable code of the first, well, not the first, it's the only Skyrim game. It came with a downloadable code of Skyrim, and I played a little bit of that, and I haven't touched that in about 2 years. But I might jump back into Skyrim. So yeah, and Dishonored 2, I actually have Dishonored on Steam. Let's see if I can find it anywhere here. Dishonored 2, where is it? Well, not Dishonored 2, Dishonored 1. I just want to see how many hours I put into it. I put 33 hours into Dishonored. Wow, that's more than what I figured it was. But yeah, I put quite a few hours into Dishonored. But I thought it was a really fun stealth game. Very, very fun stealth game. Alright, now let's go to Microsoft. Now, Microsoft, I will go on record saying, if you have a Windows 10 capable PC, there is no reason to have an Xbox One console. There's no reason to have it. And here's why I'm going to say that. With the Xbox One, almost every game they announced started off with Xbox One and Windows 10 exclusive. Almost every game started off with that. So unlike Sony and Nintendo, I can play pretty much all of the relevant games on Windows 10. So it's like, and then I think there's a few games on Steam. There's Rise, Son of Rome, and then there's Dead Rising 3. Those are like two cool games that I thought were pretty cool back when the Xbox One was first coming out. That's on Steam. I think Halo 6 is coming to Windows 10 store. Gears of War 4 is going to be cross-buy between Xbox and PC, which to me the Xbox cross-buy system seems weird, because if I have a PC, I'm not going to own an Xbox One. I'm not going to have a need to own an Xbox One. If I have a Xbox, then obviously I don't have a PC, because if I had a PC, then it would negate any reason to have an Xbox One. So it doesn't seem like it benefits anyone. Like if I have an Xbox One, I don't care about PC. If I have a PC, I don't care about Xbox One. So it just kind of seems weird that they would have that cross-buy thing. Like it just seems kind of weird. Like I don't really understand what they were thinking with that. The only games that I really cared for from Microsoft was Dead Rising 4, State of Decay, and Recore. And I did like what they showed of Gears of War and Gears of War, and what was that other game they showed? Gears of War and I can't remember the game, but they like showed some sort of oh, here it is, Sea of Thieves. Like, yeah, Sea of Thieves, that looked pretty cool. So yeah, I really look forward to playing some of those games, but the only ones that really caught my attention were State of Decay, Dead Rising 4, and Recore. Now let's get to Ubisoft. Oh my goodness, after that somewhat trippy number. So if you don't know what they're talking about, Ubisoft had the most cringe-worthy beginning of any E3 I've seen in a long time. They came out, they had all this dancing, they had people in like giraffe suits dancing. I'm like what am I watching? Like that was my whole thought process during the whole thing. What am I watching? Like, what am I watching? Like, I had no idea what was going on. I was like, I came here to see video games. I didn't come here to see people dancing. So first of all, they started off with like Star Trek Bridge Crew, a VR game. And just about VR, I'm interested in VR, but I'm going to wait until it gets like dirt cheap. And I'm going to wait to make sure that it's not going to be a fad. I don't want to go, buy $500, $600, $700 worth of equipment, and turns out that it doesn't it's not anything that's going to get much attention. And some people say how Sony is going to be, you know, their VR looks really interesting to me, but we'll get to that in a minute. But they showed The Division, which who still plays The Division. They showed Grow Up, a sequel to Grow Home. That game was recently in a Humble Bundle. I gave this away. It didn't really look interesting to me. Trials of the Blood Dragon. I feel so embarrassed with this. I was talking to a friend, like we were watching the Ubisoft press conference together, and I didn't realize, or no, I knew this, but I forgot at the moment that Trials was like a racing game. So for some reason I thought they were announcing a new Blood Dragon game, and I got so excited. I was like, oh, they're announcing a new Blood Dragon game. Oh, I loved, Far Cry 3 Blood Dragon. I thought they were announcing a new game, and then I realized, wait a minute, this is just a Trials racing game, but with a Blood Dragon theme. So I got like, oh my goodness, they trolled me. But this wasn't the only troll the conference. Sony had the biggest troll out of anybody. I'll get to that in a minute. And anyway, they showed Watch Dogs 2, which looked interesting. They got rid of Aiden Pierce because people said he was very boring. For me, I was kind of indifferent to him. I didn't really care one way or the other. I didn't think he was an amazing protagonist, but I didn't think he was awful. I was just kind of indifferent. And then they showed some kind of new sports game, Steep, which looked pretty interesting, but it doesn't really look like anything I pick up and play. The only game out of this conference that I really care about are Watch Dogs 2 and South Park: The Fractured Butthole. Oh my goodness! If you are a South Park fan, buy The Stick of Truth and Fractured Butthole. Buy it. If you like South Park, there is no reason for you not to own The Fractured Butthole or Stick of Truth. Now the good thing is that if you buy The Fractured Butthole, you get a free copy of The Stick of Truth. So if you haven't played Stick of Truth yet and you're a South Park fan, wait and get Fractured Butthole and buy it. Excellent game. Now Sony had the biggest troll in the entire conference, but I'll get to that in a little bit. So first of all, it started off with an epic orchestra. I want to see can I find a little bit of video of it. So I want to see can I go to the PlayStation channel. It started off with an epic orchestra. Oh my goodness. Where is it? Oh, here it is. Go back. It started off with an epic. Oh, sorry about that. I didn't realize it was so loud. I hope I didn't blow anybody's ears out. So where is it? Skip past all this nonsense. I just want you to hear it. I just want to hear it again. Wow. So it started off with this epic press conference. And then this girl who sounds like she's choking on something. I have no idea what this was about. Sounds like she's trying to choke and rap at the same time. But it started off, and then you see this like little kid, and then it jumps to this part, and let's see.
Then show me what you know. I am hungry.
The crowd goes wild. Kratos is back. Kratos is back. Wow. So now, first of all, I had no idea what game that was. I thought it might have been a new game, but then Kratos stepped out, and the reason why I didn't recognize him because like it's a different voice actor. If it was the original voice actor, I'm sure I would have recognized it, but for some reason they picked up a new voice actor. I have no idea what that was, but when Kratos walked out, he had that beard. I was like, oh my god, Kratos is back. But anyway, they showed Resident Evil 7, which looked interesting. I didn't expect a new Resident Evil game. They showed Detroit Become Human from the creators of Heavy Rain and Beyond Two Souls. That looked like something that I'm interested in, but I might wait till it gets a little cheaper. I don't know if that's going to be a day one purchase. They showed Horizon Zero Dawn again, which I'm actually really looking forward to. Horizon Zero Dawn. It's not a game that I'm going to pick up day one, but it is something that I look forward to playing eventually, definitely. They also showed VR in Final Fantasy 15, which was something I did not expect. Now I'm hoping that you can play Final Fantasy 15 in a first-person perspective without the VR. I'm hoping that they can have that as an option. But I have a feeling that if you want to play it in first person, then you gotta have the VR. But I think that's pretty cool to take like a game that You know, it's a turn-based kind of, well, not, it's not even turn-based anymore. It's like kind of an open-world action game, but to have VR for it sounds very awesome. And then Batman Arkham, you know, don't really care too much about that. Well, no, I do care about Batman Arkham. I don't care about like a VR Batman game. That kind of seems a little weird to me. Um, what else? Then they show the new game from Kojima. When Kojima stepped out on stage, everybody in the Twitch chat, everybody in YouTube chat, everybody went wild. It was like, oh, Kojima is coming out to announce something. I was like, well, what is it? And then because if people remember, Kojima was supposed to make something with Konami, and basically Konami just gave Kojima the middle finger. Like, I think last year's E3 he wasn't allowed to like come to E3 for some reason. So basically Capcom is just like I have no idea what's going on with Capcom. But anyway, Sony. The biggest troll was when they walked out on stage and they had that Crash Bandicoot music playing. It took me a second to recognize it was Crash Bandicoot, but I was like, it's Crash Bandicoot. And then as the guy was walking on stage, it had like a shadow of Crash Bandicoot walking behind him. And the crowd was like about to cry because we thought that they were going to announce a new Crash Bandicoot game after all these years. Then they say, oh no, it's just remasters of 3 Crash Bandicoot games, and then Crash is coming to Skylanders. I was like, oh, come on, Sony, come on, Activision, why did you trick us like this? Because we all thought that this was going to be a brand new Crash Bandicoot game, and then they announced Skylanders, which nobody cares about. Nobody cares about Skylanders or Disney Infinity or anything like that. So, no, that was awful. But they did show kind of like a zombie game, you know, Days Gone, which the only thing I remember from this is a motorcycle, a ton of zombies, and a guy with infinite ammo. Sorry, I'm a little sick right now. Don't know how I got sick in the summertime, but day 2, Nintendo showed some stuff with The Legend of Zelda. We finally have a subtitle, The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild. And the game actually looks pretty interesting in my opinion. I think the game looks really good. I think the game looks awesome. I definitely, if I ever get an NX, that's going to be a game I'm going to pick up for sure. Apparently it showed some more Persona 5 gameplay. I recently beat Persona 4 Golden on the Vita, and I'm actually really enjoyed it. I really enjoyed it. I'm actually really looking forward to Persona 5. I have not played Persona 3 yet, but I do plan to play Persona 3 before the end of the year, and then have it beat by the time Persona 5 comes out. So then, what else did they show? What else? Anything else that I want to mention? So that seems like everything that I want to mention. They did have some cringe-worthy moments, but I'm not even going to look at that. I want to save my brain cells. But yeah, that's pretty much it. So now I'm going to talk about a little list of what games are coming out that I really want to get. So, just a quick list. South Park, The Fractured Butthole, Watch Dogs 2, Final Fantasy 15, Dishonored 2, Mafia 3, Persona 5, God of War, Horizon Zero Dawn, Zelda Breath of the Wild, and Gravity Rush 2. Now, I'm not going to get all of these games the day they come out, but it looks like something that I pick up, you know, eventually. You know, but like all those games is not something I'm necessarily going to get as soon as they come out. I almost forgot about this. Microsoft announced the Xbox One S, which is like a slimmer version with like more storage, and then I love this picture right here. I love this with Kojima sipping Konami tears. I think this was Photoshop, but like I love this picture. But anyway, they announced a slimmer version, and then they announced a more powerful version in the same conference. And I'm kind of confused with the Scorpio. They say it's gonna support 4K gaming, 60 hertz, VR. Like, to me, it seems like it's gonna be like the most powerful console ever. But here's my thing. There's computer graphics cards that have a hard time handling 4K. So how in the world Microsoft is going to have a 4K console for a reasonable price, I have no idea. Because the Xbox One can't even handle 1080p 60 frames per second consistently. So how are you going to skip over 1080p 1440p and go right to 4K? That just seems kind of, weird to me. And I'm going to go on record and say that the Xbox Scorpio, the minimum price is going to be $600 to $700, somewhere around that ballpark, because this thing is not going to be cheap. If this thing is really as strong as they're making it out to be, it's not going to be cheap. It's not going to be something, like $400 or $500. No, this thing's going to be $600-700 easy. Like no question about it. But then I've got to say, who are they going to market it to? Because if somebody really cares about power, frame rate, resolution, whatnot, they'll have a gaming PC. I'm running. Let me minimize all this. I'm running Windows 10 right now. I'm running Windows 10, and I basically have the Xbox Store, and I have access to a lot of the big games coming out for Xbox One, Gears, Halo Wars 2, Forza, Sea of Thieves, Quantum Breaks out, like all these games are like on the PC, so I have no reason to own an Xbox One. I would argue nobody has a reason to own an Xbox One unless you just absolutely for some reason don't want to have a gaming PC, which I don't really see why. But with the PS4, Sony came on stage, showed a bunch of games, and said if you want to play these games, you have to have a PS4. Nintendo comes and shows Zelda, which was an amazing looking game. In fact, on Twitter, Zelda was, I don't know where the statistic was for it, but I saw like a statistic, and for some reason I can't pronounce statistic, but I saw it, and by far Zelda had the most talk about it than any other game showed in E3, which I kind of was like, wow. And then Nintendo said, if you want to play, you have to have a Wii U or an NX. With Microsoft, a lot of their big games are on Windows, so I don't really see a need to own an Xbox console. I just say, like anybody thinking about getting an Xbox One, I'll be like, get a good gaming PC, get Windows 10, and get a wired Xbox controller or a wireless one, and you're good. So it's like I really don't see the point of it. But anyway, E3 2016 has come and gone. I can't wait for all these amazing games to come out. I can't wait to see what the PS4.5 is going to be. Can't wait to see what the NX is going to be. Can't wait to see what the exactly the Scorpio is going to be. So we do have a lot of things to look forward to. Overall, I think this was good E3, and I can't wait to see what more games are going to have in store for us. So thank you guys for watching. Just to recap once again, I'm going to be still making videos, but it's going to be whenever I kind of feel like it, and then eventually I hope to kind of get back into the swing of things and making YouTube videos more consistently. One thing I would like to do is maybe do a podcast where maybe once a month I get a bunch of people together, whoever wants to be on the podcast, and we can discuss gaming, we can discuss technology, we can discuss world events, we can discuss whatever you want to discuss on the podcast, as long as it isn't anything too personal or or anything illegal or anything like that. We can discuss whatever we want on the podcast, and then anybody who wants to be on the podcast, all they have to do is just contact me, and then I'll try to see, can I get you on the podcast. But now I have no idea when I'm going to do this. It's just like a little idea I was tossing around. And then another thing I want to do is maybe just stuff to kind of like get people to interact with the videos, because whenever I make a video, I look forward to comments. I look forward to kind of just seeing comments. But then when I look at the comments, there's really not that many people commenting or discussing the videos. So one thing that I hope to do is just kind of like do stuff to maybe encourage user comments, like, oh, if you comment on the video, you're going to be entered into a raffle that you may possibly win, like a little game I might have from like a Humble Bundle or something like that. Or just like you may get a chance to be on the podcast or something like that. I don't really know what I'm going to do, but I just hope to kind of eventually get back in the swing of things and make more YouTube videos again. Alright, thank you guys for watching. Have a good day and take care.